Hello everyone. Every now and then I take up a new habit or a goal. It could be temporary sometimes permanent, where I challenge myself to do something which I find difficult. I'll cover them in a video series called Conquering the Self. I don't take up many new habits, so this will be few and far between, but I would like to share the experience I had along the way. So this time, early in February 2020, me and my partner decided to become vegan. Now, full disclosure, we were already vegetarian, so main things that we were giving up was dairy, honey and some bakery products with egg. Having a sweet tooth myself, one of the biggest thing to give up was Indian sweets, and that was quite a challenge. But like any challenge, if you want to sustain it, it's important to know your intentions and know your whys. And so before going into the journey of becoming vegan, there was probably a 6-month or even a year's journey just to make that decision of going towards vegan. So what were the two key factors? So like I talked about in my previous video about goal, first thing was inward, and that was to have self-control, including second, which was outwardly, was taking care of our environment, especially in this scenario, animals. So one thing that I always do or try to do is try and find common things between the ancient wisdom or in ancient Vedic knowledge or ancient knowledge on wisdom and the current times, is find the common things between them. So what I often do is find common things between the ancient wisdom and the current trends, because for example the vegan is the current trend, let's not hide behind the bush, but I also wanted to understand if that made sense in the olden days, and if there are some common threads between it, that means that aspect of it becomes timeless. So it's not a temporary facade or temporary wave that has come and will go, or at least for me. And again, this is important for myself or anyone who tries to be vegan. I'm guessing that's you might be somewhere interested, that's making you watch this, is that you need to know your reasons, because what will happen is your enthusiasm and the environment, whether it's being vegan or something else, is only going to be temporary. So if you have a good enough reason, if you have a cause which you emotionally connect to and believe in, that change will be much more long lasting. So before you get into any trend, make sure you understand your reasons, you do your research. It can take as much time as it wants, but make sure it sticks and it lasts. So in Vedic terms, milk from a cow is considered sattvic. By sattvic, what we mean is it has a cool, calming, positive effects on your body. Now that is the attribute of the milk itself, but we also need to understand is what kind of milk is sattvic. So what the ancient text tells us is the milk should only be consumed if the cow is fed properly, you yourself are connected to the cow, and in olden days that used to be the case. Every family would have a cow and they would take care of the cow like a family member, and the cow is being fed properly, is being treated properly, is like part of the family. The calf is fed as well. So every day when the calf is fed as well, and then whatever the leftover milk is, that is used for the family, then only it is sattvic. Now this is important because after the calf has had the milk, that excess milk is essentially waste, and staying inside the cow's stomach, it can even turn poisonous. So it's important to take that excess milk out regardless. So that milk which is only taken after the calf has had the milk and it's taken care of like a family, then it's sattvic milk. That will have positive effects. However, today it's a transactional thing. We pay a pound and we get a milk. There's no connection to the cow. The cow's milk is also mixed with 10,000 different cows. Cows are fed so many things which are not natural at all, and they are often killed soon as they stop giving milk. So there's nothing sattvic about it. And I understand there is a counter argument that cows will be killed if we don't have milk. Well, the answer is that we need the right kind of breeding. Right now there's overbreeding, over production of milk. So that's why a lot of European countries are creating milk powders and sending it to Africa, which is killing the market there, and it's a mess basically. There's two good documentaries as well I will share with you, which talks about the current times and the mess it creates. What it will do is it will stop overbreeding and overproduction of milk, if anything, and it will start raising the right questions. Now, my personal reason, as I said, is directly from that wisdom of knowledge, which is what kind of milk is positive milk, which has cool, calming and good effect, and how that will affect me. So hence one reason for the cow. The other reason I found was with the bees and honey. Last year we went to Thailand and we went to a honey farm, and I know someone in UK as well who has their own bee farms on the backyard. And what we actually do when we take the honey is we take away all their winter food. So what often happens is that all the bees, because they don't have food for winter, they end up dying. This is mass killing. It's not sattvic. These are the two things that got me, and that made me think that plant-based stuff is maybe the best food for me, and this food, which is often artificial or causes their own death, is not the best way, or at least I shouldn't be encouraging or be part of it. So this is the reason that keeps me going towards being a vegan. Find your own reason, inward reason if possible, to work on your goal. And as I said, for me it was self-control followed by the right thing for the environment and animals around us. I would suggest do it as a challenge for your own self. Don't take anyone's word for it. Do your own challenge, experience the difference within, and then if you still enjoy it, if you still feel that's good for you, if that's the conclusion you get to, then stick to it. So don't take anyone's word for it. Do your own challenge, experience that, experiment with it, and come to your own conclusion. Understand your why before starting it, understand your intentions, and based on and also understand where your conclusion is coming from towards the end. What thoughts, beliefs is making you say things or believe things that you have, and if all those things are of the right kind, then follow that. The vegan challenge is still going on. I'm still following it. So how did I find it, and what was the experience like? So first thing to know or do is find replacements. So what we did is we didn't change any of our food. We just found replacement for milk, for yogurt, for cheese, for bakery items, anything we had. We didn't stop anything. We just found replacement for first month. And what you should also do is try different brands each week to make sure which one works for you the best. So try different brands, see what works for you, and just find replacements for the first month. Secondly, think and live vegan. You need to remember why you are doing it. Keep remembering it. Initially, you might even have to change your environments, restaurants, circles to make sure you can sustain the vegan life. You don't have to announce that you are vegan. Just say you are experimenting it for health purposes, if that makes it easier. Have a companion. So my partner decided to do it with me as well, and that gave me a huge boost as well. Watch good documentaries. So two good documentaries I would recommend would be Game Changers and Cowspiracy. Those are two good documentaries. I will also leave the links of some of the sattvic foods in the description. Thirdly, adjust your stomach intakes. What I realized in middle of the fasting, around I would say a month and a half into it, is all of a sudden I was having stomach aches and stomach problems, and while closely observing the food, what I realized is I had almost stopped taking any milk or yogurt, or so any cool foods that milk would be, and I had increased the amount of salty or sour food I had, and and that automatically ended up being more spicy as well. So what I realized is I had to have some milk or yogurt. So I found a good replacement. What I personally enjoyed was oat milk. So I started having oat milk, started having some vegan ice creams with it. Also increased my liquid with coconut water or juices, and then all of it nicely worked out, and it was fine after that. So when you change your diet, make sure you are still getting your balanced diet. Make sure that whatever replacements you are having is still providing you with the right ingredients and the right balanced food that you need. Also, and especially in terms of the attributes of the food, hot food or cold food, so make sure you are having both in equal amount, so you're having a balanced food. Fourth thing is vegan replacement ingredients. So a lot of these vegan cheese or few other vegan foods we found, a lot of it could be made of soya or some other ingredients which are even hard to understand what they are. So always understand what you eat. See if you can find more natural things as possible, because you're trying to be vegan, you're trying to be more healthy. So make sure you don't not having too much processed food. Try and see more pure plant-based food or raw foods or vegetable as possible, and always read the contents of the food that you are having. Overall, there was definitely a feeling of less guilt while having it, which kept us motivated, and it was a much smoother transition than we expected. Also, maybe the COVID situation and being at home helped us, because we were constantly having food at home. That's all from this video. Next time I'll talk about 16/8 intermittent fasting that I've been doing for more than 5 months. So please like, share and subscribe this. Until next time.